Welcome to Reading the Gospels Together for Saturday, April the 4th. Today we're looking at Matthew chapters 9 and 10. If you're looking for previous days, you can find them on the zionpress.org website. Just click on the Reading the Gospels tab and it will take you to a list of all of our past videos. I noticed something in preparing for yesterday and today's readings. The repeated use of the phrase got up or get up. I like to read the Gospels in the language in which they were originally written, called Koine Greek, as well as in English. This helps me notice things I would not otherwise pick up, such as get up. Back in chapter 8, Jesus heals Peter's mother-in-law, for which I joke Peter never forgave Jesus. And it says, she got up. When Jesus is in the boat during the storm and the disciples wake him, Jesus got up and rebuked the wind and the waves. In chapter 9, our reading begins with the paralyzed man lowered through the roof by his friends. There's much to say about this passage, but for now, Jesus forgives and heals the man and tells him, get up, take your mat, and go home. Finally, when Jesus brings to life the daughter of Jairus, Jesus took the girl by the hand and she got up. Interestingly, in Mark's Gospel, Peter remembers Jesus saying to the girl in Aramaic, Talitha koum, which means, little girl, get up. The common word here is egiero, which in its various forms can be translated get up, arise, or awaken. Matthew's telling us something very important by using this word again and again. The coming of Jesus is a wake-up call to the world. Those touched by his ministry are raised up to new life in him. Healing and wholeness are the hallmarks of the kingdom of God. In fact, the ministry of Jesus is causing ripples in the pond of the world, and the source of all that upheaval is the resurrection. All of these healings are resurrections of a sort. The healing of Jairus' daughter is an actual resurrection. The impact of the resurrection is spreading both forward and backward in time. Making this point throughout his gospel, the effect is even more intense as the resurrection approaches. Looking ahead in Matthew, we read something very odd. Immediately upon the death of Jesus on the cross, Matthew 27:52 says, and the tombs broke open, the bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. The word raised is literally got up. And when the women meet the angel at the tomb on Easter morning, the angel says in Matthew 28:6, he is not here, he is risen. Literally, got up. Now we're a long way from our reading in chapter 9, but there's one more thing to point out. In verses 9 through 13, we read Matthew's own account of Jesus calling Matthew to follow him. What happens? We read, Matthew got up and followed him. Interestingly, the word for got up here is different. Anastas, the root of the word anastasis. And what does that word mean? Resurrection. Matthew is telling us that his response to the call of Jesus was the moment of his own resurrection to new life. And when you follow Jesus, you too will be raised. Chapter 10 gets down to the business of being a disciple and following Jesus. Part of following is spreading the word to all the world to proclaim the good news from the housetops, as he says in verse 27. In chapter 10, Jesus goes to great lengths to say, it won't be easy. There will be hardship, even within families, but we mustn't give up. As Jesus says in verse 32, whoever acknowledges me before others, I will also acknowledge before my Father in heaven. So many of us treat our Christian faith as though it's a secret, but each of us are called to share the good news of what Jesus has done for us and to invite others to meet him as well. As Jesus says in chapter 9, verses 37 and 38, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field. And as he says this to the disciples, he's looking right at you. During this time of isolation, don't miss the opportunity to invite others to participate in the virtual worship services available not only through Zion, but from many churches throughout the web. Direct folks to our daily prayers and readings. Point families to our great children's resources found on our website. Be a disciple, a follower, a faithful worker. Or as Matthew says, get up. Tomorrow, chapters 11 and 12, we're introduced to John the Baptist again. Ask yourself why John was having second thoughts about Jesus. You'll read about towns that experienced but rejected Jesus' ministry. So many of the miracles that we just read about happened in those very towns. Ask yourself, how could they fail to believe? At the end of chapter 11, you'll find one of the most famous and comforting sayings of Jesus. It's a verse particularly helpful in these days. Chapter 12 talks about Jesus and his conflicts with the attitudes and spirit of the world. What are the situations in our world which come to mind as you read these passages? That's lots for today. I'll see you tomorrow. And since tomorrow is Sunday, don't forget to participate in our online service of worship. God bless you, and keep reading.